Fed speakers are flagging a possible larger policy shift if disinflation stalls, which matters for Canadian investors holding rate-sensitive financials that now make up 37% of the TSX. This is Modern Investing Techniques, episode 129. Quick reminder, everything we discuss here is for education and entertainment. The practice investment of the day uses simulated trades with no real money. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Always do your own research before putting real money to work. The S&P 500 closed at 7,724, down 0.2%. The NASDAQ Composite closed at 26,363, down 0.8%. The TSX Composite closed at 36,146, up 1%. Materials and energy lifted the TSX as gold prices rose, while Canadian financials reached an 8-year high at 37% of the index. SF Fed President Mary Daly described a bimodal outlook with Scenario 2 gaining ground, and Governor Lisa Cook noted she voted to hold rates last week while watching for tariff, war, and AI-related disinflation effects. The Bank of Canada's next decision remains the nearest scheduled policy event. Today's comments from Daly and Cook move the rate cycle discussion forward by highlighting the bimodal outlook gaining traction. Portfolio cumulative return, year-to-date return, and alpha versus the NASDAQ are not available in today's data feed, so we will track those figures once they update. Cash-secured puts let an investor collect premium income while committing to buy a stock only at a chosen strike price. The approach turns a potential purchase into an income-generating position rather than a plain limit order that earns nothing if unfilled. Today's options discussion highlights that a short put always returns less loss than an unexecuted limit order because the premium offsets part of any decline. Implementation requires checking the options chain on a platform such as Interactive Brokers or Questrade. Select a strike 5 to 10% below the current price with at least 30 days to expiration. Ensure cash equal to the strike times 100 shares sits in the account. The strategy has performed best in sideways or mildly bullish markets where implied volatility remains elevated. The main risk is opportunity cost if the stock rallies sharply and the premium is left on the table. A second risk appears when the underlying drops sharply below the strike. The investor must purchase shares at the strike while the market price sits lower, though the collected premium still reduces the net cost basis compared with buying outright at the higher level. Platforms display the exact premium, open interest, and implied volatility so investors can compare income against a simple limit order in under 2 minutes. Historical backtests show the edge concentrates in names with stable support levels and moderate volatility, where the premium provides a measurable buffer without requiring perfect timing. Imagine you bought a materials ETF last week after the TSX posted a strong close on rising gold prices and your order filled at the quoted ask. The actual path from click to fill involved the bid-ask spread widening from 3 cents to 12 cents within the first 15 minutes as volume spiked, plus a 0.4% slippage from the displayed price because your market order hit successive offers. The 50-day and 200-day moving averages act as dynamic filters because a cross above both on above-average volume has historically preceded positive 20-day returns in 62% of TSX materials cases since 2015. The same cross on below-average volume shows no edge. RSI, the 14-day version, serves as a momentum gate. Entries above 60 cut the win rate by roughly 15 percentage points in backtests because momentum often exhausts once the oscillator leaves the 40 to 60 neutral band. MACD histogram turns provide an earlier signal than simple moving average crosses, yet they generate more false positives when volume fails to confirm the shift. Support and resistance levels drawn from prior swing highs and lows function as probabilistic zones rather than hard barriers. A break accompanied by volume 50% above the 20-day average raises the probability of continuation to roughly 65% in broad equity indices. Chart patterns such as head and shoulders or flags carry statistical backing only when they coincide with volume expansion and alignment with the prevailing trend. Isolated pattern recognition without those filters performs no better than random in large sample studies. The professionals always verify that any breakout or reversal occurs with volume above the 20-day average before sizing up, because low volume moves frequently reverse within 2 sessions. The misconception to avoid is assuming every visually compelling chart formation will repeat. Instead, require both a moving average alignment and volume confirmation above the 20-day average before treating any setup as actionable. This is a simulated trade for educational purposes only. No real money is involved. This is not financial advice. Today's flash trade pick is none, and we are monitoring LAC on the NYSE. The sector is tech. The strategy is watching for volume confirmation on financing news before considering entry. The catalyst is a $175 million securities purchase agreement with Yorkville Advisors, as Thacker Pass approaches peak construction. The technical setup shows the stock trading near its 50-day moving average. We are waiting for volume to exceed the 20-day average on any follow-through day. Lithium price volatility and construction delays could pressure the name. No entry occurs until the volume threshold is met. The confidence level is low because this is a single catalyst without confirming volume or sector breadth. The setup demonstrates waiting for volume confirmation before committing capital, a direct application of the rule that requires both fundamental news and volume above the 20-day average. Listeners see how skipping a trade when criteria are unmet preserves the framework for higher probability entries later. There is no newly closed trade since the last review. The most recent practice investment has already been reviewed. Current holdings remain open and pending their scheduled evaluation, so there is no new realized result to report today. The CRA penalty for excess TFSA room is 1% per month on the overage. The Money Sense article walks through the exact steps to withdraw the excess, file Form RC 243, and request relief when the mistake was inadvertent. Canadian investors can use the free CRA My Account portal to pull their exact contribution history before any July 1st or January 1st top-up. The process requires documenting the date the excess occurred and demonstrating that the overcontribution resulted from an honest error rather than deliberate action. Relief requests succeed most often when filed promptly with supporting contribution room statements from the CRA portal. The interactive broker's option chain displays real-time implied volatility, open interest, and the exact premium collected for cash-secured puts. This allows investors to compare income versus a plain limit order in under 2 minutes. Users on the Pro tier see the full depth of book data that retail platforms often omit. The chain also shows the probability of assignment at each strike based on current pricing, which helps size the cash reserve accurately. Pro subscribers can export the chain data directly into spreadsheets for quick annualized yield calculations across multiple expirations. Knight Therapeutics lifted its full-year outlook to $540 to $560 million after posting record first-half revenues of $293 million and adjusted EEBITDAF of $52 million. The revised range reflects stronger than expected demand across its Pan-American pharmaceutical portfolio. Add GUD.TO to the TFSA watch list for any pullback below the 50-day moving average. Block reported better than expected earnings after reducing its workforce by 40% for AI efficiency, with executives noting faster product shipping and higher quality. The workforce cut targeted areas where AI tools now handle repetitive tasks, freeing resources for product development. Watch SQ for a retest of its 200-day moving average before considering any new position. Canada Goose entered an agreement to divest the performance footwear unit Baffin to focus on its core outerwear business. The transaction transfers Baffin Limited to LP Royer Incorporated, a Canadian manufacturer of work and military footwear. Review Goose.to position sizing if it remains in any Canadian equity sleeve. Molson Coors reported net sales fell 3.3% reported and 3.6% in constant currency, while GAAP income before taxes dropped 49%. The U.S. GAAP income before income taxes totaled $283.1 million for the quarter. Avoid adding TAP exposure until earnings stabilize above the prior year baseline. Our simulated portfolio shows no updated win rate or year-to-date performance figures in today's feed. The AI analysis continues to learn from volume confirmation patterns and is adjusting position sizing rules accordingly. We will report cumulative alpha once the tracker data refreshes. Open your brokerage platform, pull up the 30-day options chain for one TSX financial stock you already own, and calculate the annualized yield of the nearest out-of-the-money cash-secured put. Note the exact premium and strike in a spreadsheet. Tomorrow, we will examine how the Bank of Canada decision could shift sector rotation into financials. That's modern investing techniques for today. If you found this useful, share it with a fellow investor and subscribe wherever you listen. Check the resources page for tools and platforms we discussed. We're back tomorrow. Keep learning, keep investing, and if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NARA Network. Links in the show notes. One more thing, if you liked today's episode, our sister show Models and Agents is worth a spot in your feed, your daily briefing on AI models and agents. It's one of the NARA Network's daily briefings, all free at naranetwork.com. Live dashboards, TSLA, SpaceX launches, the investing scoreboard are all at naranetwork.com data. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.
Do you ever wonder where we go after this? Are you high right now? Do you ever get nervous? Do you ever stay awake, counting sheep like all the time? What's your life like? What's your purpose? When's your birthday? What's your sign? Are you down right now? Are you stuck up in the past? Are you still thinking about all the times that you didn't last?